In this video, I am chatting about the Lonesome River Band. So if you are new to bluegrass, or if you've been in the bluegrass world for a while, this video is for you. I'm going to chat about what this band sort of means in the larger realm of bluegrass music and sort of chat about what I've loved about this band over the years, because the Lonesome River Band is one of those groups that keeps things sounding very traditional while sounding fresh. They don't get into any newgrass territory, but they have a massive repertoire of really solid bluegrass albums, really solid bluegrass tunes. I think they do a lot of like traditional stuff very well, if not the best out of anybody. But first, I'm going to throw you for a loop, because the group that I make a connection to mentally when I think of the Lonesome River Band is not even a bluegrass band. I actually think of the Grateful Dead, and I don't mean that as the two bands are musically alike whatsoever, but what I mean by that is that there's a larger sort of mythos in my mind about the Lonesome River Band and the Grateful Dead. Both bands have been around for ages. They've gone through several different iterations, and I know the Grateful Dead's done with, and they play as Dead and Company and other sort of offshoots of that. And the Lonesome River Band, definitely, I think with a lot of bluegrass players, we may or may not have like an opinion on what sort of era of this group was our favorite, because a lot of players have kind of been woven in and out of the Lonesome River Band. They're sort of like a bluegrass all-star group, if you will. I know that's kind of a large claim, but you got one of the most well-respected banjo players in the group, Sammy Sheeler, and a lot of the guys in the group, they're younger. The lineup changes over time, but one of probably the most popular musicians or players that has been in the group, is Dan Tyminski. So if you don't know who Dan Tyminski is, you've probably heard songs that he's sung on. And two of the most well-known songs are, one, Man of Constant Sorrow, which he recorded and provided the voice for George Clooney in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And the other one that's been released more recently, Dan Tyminski sung on the electronic song, I think it's called Brother by Avicii, which is a super well-known like smash hit. I'll put all this in the description. But Dan Tyminski did play mandolin with the group in the 80s, but he wasn't the only sort of big name bluegrass star that's played with the group. Another name you need to know is Ronnie Bowman. So Ronnie Bowman was part of the Lonesome River Band. He fronted the Lonesome River Band along with Sammy Sheeler for a long time. Now, Ronnie Bowman's no longer in the group. He's been gone for many, many years, actually. But he'd sort of go on to do a lot of songwriting. He's worked with Chris Stapleton, and definitely check out his repertoire of music. He's got a lot of solo stuff out, really good solo music. But these two guys were pretty well known, along with Adam Steffi. Adam Steffi, of course, is a well-known mandolin player, plays with Alison Krauss and Union Station. So like I said, I just wanted to chat real fast about this group and sort of give you some tracks to put on your radar. I can't play anything here on YouTube, unfortunately, because I'm going to get a copyright strike. I've been streaming this album for the past 24 hours or so, and again, it really sticks with the traditional sound. It sounds fresh. The production's very well put together. There's some great instrumentation on the album. I'm still really digging my heels into it. So if you've listened to the album, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. But before I wrap this up, I just want to chat about some of my favorite tunes by the Lonesome River Band. That way, if you're at home and you're trying to find some fresh bluegrass music, maybe you want to dig your heels into something that's a bit older, because like I said, these guys don't really do much of the jammy new stuff, if that's what you're into. I know that like Billy Strings and stuff on his albums goes into different sort of territory, and that's really not what the Lonesome River Band's about, but still great bluegrass. If you're just wanting some traditional toe-tapping music that makes you feel good, this is one of those like groups where there's so many albums, there's so many releases, that like my playlist is just like, there's just tons and tons of songs from just albums. There's, like I said, there's 24 or 25, so there's a massive catalog of tunes. The first tune you gotta listen to is Tune of a $20 Bill. This is from an album, Window of Time. I think it was released in the early 2000s. Amazing tune, check it out. There's a more classic bluegrass song called Katie Daly, and like I was telling one of my buddies the other day, there's a handful of these classic tunes that, in my mind, like the Lonesome River Band are the ones that play the song, right? So when I go to like listen to a version of Katie Daly, I'm listening to the Lonesome River Band song. It's like the staple. and that's what I listen to. So that's one of my favorites, like that recording of Katie Daly. I'll put it in the link description below. And the third one you got to go listen to is a tune called Swing That Hammer. This is a song that'll show up in jams quite frequently. It's sort of, at least in my opinion, has worked its way in sort of like the classic bluegrass tunes. Amazing number. It's really like encapsulates the old time sound, the traditional sound, while really staying, you know, fresh and energetic. And there's still like, you know, you won't be able to like take a bluegrass or a Lonesome River Band song or album and compare it to like the older stuff. It's going to sound very different. I'm talking like the Ralph Stanley stuff. It's going to sound different, but it's going to sound a lot of the same, and much more of the same than say like Green Sky Bluegrass or something like that. And so that's what I really appreciate about the Lonesome River Band. That's why I go listen to them, is to really get that like traditional, I sound like an old man, that traditional bluegrass sound that that a lot of groups and artists may kind of stray away from, but they really keep it on the straight and narrow. So go check out those tracks. Go check out The Winning Hand. Let me know about it in the description below. If you guys like this content, if you'd like me to keep doing more of it, there's ways to support this channel in the description below. My goal here is to spread bluegrass music to a wider audience. Whatever I make profit-wise, I'm giving 5% back to an organization that teaches bluegrass in person. I really think the in-person instruction, like how I learned the music, is super important just as we become more addicted to technology. So that's kind of how I'm helping this style of music out. I've got commentary videos, there's bluegrass lessons, there's gear reviews, I've got a newsletter, subscribe to that, there's blogs on my website. I'm really trying to dig into this and spread this channel out to as many people and spread the good word of bluegrass. So do check that out below. Also, there's a link to Sweetwater Music. Shout out to Sweetwater. If you guys are looking for gear, I like shopping from Sweetwater because here's what happens when I go to a local music store. Even like Guitar Center, I'll check and see if something's in stock. I'll drive through traffic for like 45 minutes, get there, it's not there, or something's gone wrong, or they thought it was in the back and it's not in the back. Sweetwater Music delivers right to your door, free shipping and 2-year warranty on most things. There are some links in the description. If you click any of those and buy anything, then I'm gonna get a small commission, and it really helps out this cause, especially if you like this type of content. We'll see you on the next one, and keep picking.